guys, it's Sugar Urban Chick 1 and let's get into it. So as you can see from the title listed below, I have a story to tell you guys today, and I don't even care if the particular person sees it, but honestly I doubt that they will even find out, and if they do, then hey, it is what it is. Let's get into it. And if they do, I'm not gonna say your name, and this probably can apply to a lot of people. Okay, so I am single. I'm currently 30 years old. I live in New York City, and you would think because there's millions of people here, it's very easy to meet people, but it honestly, for me, it isn't, because I work full-time. There aren't any black people in my marketing department. There was one black guy, but he was like, he worked on a different floor, and he worked in like IT or something. And he actually approached me. He actually asked me out. Thought he was kind of cute. He was a nice guy, but it didn't work out because I found out he had physical abuse history with physical abuse. And thank God he don't work for the company I work for anymore. So I had to cut that off. So with all that being said, I digress. That's another story for another day. With all that being said, because you know, during the work week, I go to work, I come home, I'm tired. I don't get approached by anyone on the train. I don't get approached during my comings and goings, and because I'm working, there's no one that I'm interested in at all. There's no black guys I'm interested in, because I'm mainly just attracted to black guys. So there's no one at work I'm interested in to date. So and I don't really have that many friends, so it's not like I'll meet someone through friends either, since I don't really get asked to go to many parties or anything, because you know, you get older, you're busy, you're working, you know. So all that being said, it's hard for me to meet people. Then when weekends come, I'm tired, like I don't want to go anywhere. So I think, you know, I just don't meet potential guys, and if I'll see someone on the train, they never approach me. I've been told maybe I should approach them, which I've tried in the past. It doesn't work. So all that being said, I did try, you know, I am trying online dating. Oh, excuse me. So one of the dates I went on recently, it was with this guy. He seemed really nice, right? You know, he seemed okay in his profile. He looked kind of cute. He was all right looking. I mean, I wasn't like drop dead, like, oh my god, but he was okay, you know. So I was like, okay, let me get to know him, because the older I get, it's not just about how attractive you are to the person. I'm more attracted to a person's personality. You know, if they make me laugh, if they're outspoken, if they're confident, if they're fun, if I just have a good time being with them, and if they make me smiling now, then that's what I look for. So I met him, and you know, first when I met him, he seemed a little small in frame. I was okay with his height, but he just seemed really like just skinny and just small. Like, I'm like, okay, well, I don't know about this. So I'm like, all right, well, let me just sit down, get to know this guy, right? So we went out for brunch, cute little spot downtown, you know, in Brooklyn somewhere. And just during the whole date, he just was very serious, right? And he was an introvert, so he was very soft-spoken, and he was just kind of depressing. Like it was just not fun. And then I would always try to make jokes and try to, like, you know, spicing up the experience and trying to make him laugh, and it just wasn't fun with him. I was just like, what? It was just a little weird. Like, and then during the date, he already stated that he, you know, isn't looking to really settle down. He wants more experience. So, and in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm 30. The guy was 31 or 32. And I'm like, how much more experience do you need? You've been on this earth for over 30 years. Haven't you been, you know, dating or dealing with girls for over like 20 years now? Like 15, 20 years? Like, well, not 20 years, I mean 15 to 10 years. Haven't you been? So how much more experience do you need before you can even like settle down or anything. And then my whole thing is, what's the point of dating if you're just want something casual? I feel like I date with a purpose. I'm dating a person because I want to see where it leads, and then try to find someone that maybe I can develop a relationship with over time. And it takes time before you can find a person who you feel like you can develop a relationship with. So I don't just date just to date. So that stuck in my head throughout the whole day, and I just kept grilling him and grilling. I was like, so what do you mean you don't have experience? Like, what exactly do you mean by that? Like, you're 31, haven't you dated a lot of girls? So and then he was like, well, he has, but it just, he wants more experience, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay. And then I just kept grilling him because in my mind I just did not understand what he meant. Okay, so we had brunch. He seemed kind of cool still, so I was like, all right. Well, he wanted to go walk to the promenade, to the water. So I'm like, okay, I'll go. It was very windy, but I went with it. And then I was like, I told him, I was like, you seem very introverted. You seem very soft-spoken. And he said, yes, that's what his mom and his sister told him. So I was like, okay. And then I asked him again. I was like, what? I was like, so I'm assuming you have not had a lot of experience with females, even though you're 31. Is that what you meant by not, you haven't had experience? He was like, yeah, he hasn't had a lot of experience. And then I don't know how it came up, but it got into we started talking about the physical part. So I'm like, and then he mentioned like he'll date girls, but he hasn't been that physical for a while. He hasn't had sex for a while. And I'm just like, well, why not? You don't look that bad. I don't understand. This does not making no, I don't understand. So he said he's dated girls, but he was not attracted to them. So I'm like, okay, so basically you was wasting your time, not their time. You was wasting your time. I'm like, so why would you date someone? And I told him, why would you date someone if you're not even attracted to them? Please, if you're listening to this, please take this advice. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I know for me, like, look, don't date someone just to fill a void of loneliness. Date someone because you're genuinely interested in that person. It's really sad to see people, and I see this all the time, they'll stay in a relationship just so that they have someone to go with, to go places with, but they don't even like that person. They can't stand them. Like, they rather just have sex with them because no one's talking and it's like a physical pleasure. But after that, they just can't stand the person, but they keep them around to feel that, so that they're not alone. Now, if a person feels that way, or if you feel that way, I think it's a certain time where you have to really get to know yourself as a person and really just be happy within yourself. You have to be happy before you can be happy with someone else, because there will always be arguments. You probably want to cheat on them. It's not worth it. So he was dating just to fill a void of loneliness. He wasn't dating just to date. So, and then he, after a while, I kept grilling him. He finally came out and he said he had sex when he was 24 years old, and he hasn't had sex since then. And I was just like, boom, bomb, red flag, so red flag. And then I was like, wait, what? Literally, I was like, oh, hell no. Like, what is wrong with this dude? So, mind you, he's 31. He hasn't had sex since he was 24. And he's only had sex once. So, he basically a virgin. So, I'm like, okay. So, I asked him, why hasn't he, like, been active or anything? And his response was, well, I was raised a certain way. Like, boy, Bob, boy, please. This has nothing to do with the way you was raised. Because I could see if it was a religious thing or something. Because in that case, if you was raised a certain way, you wouldn't have had sex at all. And you would have waited till you got married or till you do whatever it is you want to do. So this has nothing to do with the way you was raised. It's because your ass is weird. And you're too damn, you're antisocial, introverted, weird as fuck. Like, he was just depressing me. Like, his whole vibe or energy, it was just so like depressing. Like, I can't. So yeah, I was just like, okay, I know sex is not everything, but the fact that I am 31, I feel like any person that I want to date, I feel like sex is an important entity, but it's not everything. It's sex. It's, you have to find out, you know, if you're compatible with the person, lifestyle wise, and then you have to find out their personality, if you guys mix well. But then yeah, the chemistry in sex is important, but mainly compatibility is also important, and lifestyle is also important, and values is also important too. But when he told me that he only had sex one time in his life, I responded and I was like, yo, you need to go get you some booty. Like, I'm like, don't even start dating girls, just go get some booty. Like, that's exactly what I told him. Like, come on. Like, so I guess that's what he meant. And honestly, I felt kind of bad for him. I was like, I mean, I don't want to, and the thing is, that's much pressure. I don't want to be that female to help teach him things moving along. Like, I'm not some star, or I don't know, I'm not a porno star or anything. But what I should have told him, there are sex clubs. Like, there are like actually classy sex clubs. I should have told him about that. But after the date, he texted me. He wanted to see me again. I was just like, well, we can be friends. And he got kind of mad after that. But we could have been friends. But he just got mad after that. I was like, all right, you don't want to tell me, be all mad and dark and depressed. Like, I feel like if we were friends, I would have invited him. I know, like, a couple of my friends right now are having birthdays that are coming up. I would have invited him out, and he probably would have met someone through someone there. Or I would have told him about the different sex clubs. Like, there's this one club that started in the UK. It's called Killing Kittens. And they have sex parties. Now, I will say, you know, if you're ever thinking about doing this, definitely use protection. Get checked out, because you don't know where any of these people are from. Okay, but yeah, if you do want to get experience sexually, I would recommend doing sex clubs, especially if you're not social, if you don't meet enough people, or you don't meet females who are down just to get down and dirty. Then maybe look into sex clubs. And then, you know, I feel like there's nothing wrong with being sexually experienced. I think, especially as a female, over time you might lose your sensuality and your, you know, sexuality, and I really am happy now. Even in social media, there's more buzz about yoni and yoni eggs, and you know, getting back to your core sensuality as a female, and really getting back to that, especially when you get older. I think it's really important, especially, well, for me, to be more spiritual. And I'm not up to that sensuality. I don't use yoni eggs. I ain't up to that point in my life yet. I ain't up there yet, but I wanted to become more spiritual as a person. So yeah, I mean, if you are looking to become more sexually experienced, then look into, you can just Google it, like sex clubs, but you can Google Killing Kittens. It did start in the UK, but sometimes they have parties in like New York and Miami. You do have to apply to become a member. They won't accept just anybody. And yeah, you would pay to be a part of these parties, like to go to them and everything. So I mean, I would have told him about that if he wanted to remain friends, but he basically just was mad and cut me off because I just wanted to be friends. But I'm not dating no damn virgin. No, we ain't playing that party over here. No, boo boo. Maybe if I was like some, I don't know, some very like, maybe if I was a girl who wasn't confident, or if I was virgin myself, or you know, if I was very like, I don't know, maybe I would have been up to dating him, or if I was like, I don't have any friends either, so let's hang out together and chat. No, I feel like, especially as a man, like, I feel like it would just be so awkward because he wouldn't know what the hell he was doing because he a damn virgin. Like, no, I can't. So yes, girl, that was my story with dating a virgin. I couldn't go on another date with him, and I feel bad. But it wasn't just that. I mean, if he was an amazing person, personality wise, like everything else, if I, you know, connected with him on a personality level, then I would just overlook that. But the fact that was just the icing on the cake. Hearing that was just like, okay, just can't work out. But if he was everything else, like if he was confident, if he was funny, if he was more outspoken, if he was just positive, if he was just giving me good vibes, if I just molded with him personality, then I would have overlooked that. We probably would have went on a couple more dates, see where it led. We probably would have figured out that situation. The physical situation, we probably would have just worked it out. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if any of you guys ever dated a virgin, definitely post your comments below. Post your experiences, or how do you think about that. If you are a virgin, if you are waiting till you get married, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There really isn't. Definitely, I believe as a person, you should just stick to your beliefs no matter what anyone says. Just for me personally, who I date, I would prefer a man who has experience, just from my personal experience. So yeah, that was my story, dating the virgin. I wish him luck. I wish him the best of luck. Anyways, it's your girl Urban Chick 1, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.